You just want to have it there. So you be early. You waiting.
What? Where are you get up and go? Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere. I didn't want to be early, but you just wanted to set up.
You're supposed to be even a few minutes early.
Not 5 minutes. What TV show you watched start early? Before 8 time.
All right, I thought we were recording.
Hello. Say hello. People are here.
Hello.
Cassie said she wanted to be early.
I tell Arma that we need to be early versus late all the time. So I told him to get on early. Hi, what's up, Shauna? If you're not 50 minutes early, tell him exactly that he needs. If you're not 50 minutes early, you're late. I tell him you can't be late for your own show all the time. Exactly. You gotta do better. How are you guys doing? I'm glad that you guys are always early. Thanks for always supporting. So, I'm ready to go. Then he reminds me that we're recording. My gosh, funny things that sometimes on here. Thank you, Jason. No, I can't see because I have on the wrong glasses. It's a constant thing of which glasses I have on. This is my driving glasses. I'm out. Oh no, he just got them. All right. So now we have actually had 2 days of really bad rainy weather. So it was raining today and it was raining yesterday. And thank you. Thank you, Shauna. Yeah, I've been in a 2-day conference, multifamily conference. So stepping up my game and getting into multifamily, not just single family acquisitions. So
Yeah, I found out why I said he spilled that juice.
Why?
Because you poured it in my soda.
Really?
Yes. I'm trying to drink my soda. My soda tastes like daggone Gatorade.
Yeah, so how many leave it here? It's sort of careless all over the place, Arma.
I was sitting right here.
Yeah. Oh, apparently you weren't watching.
Oh my goodness. Yo, anybody ever mix Coca-Cola with Gatorade?
The lighting, no.
Well, anyway.
Because they even fixing the switches.
Turn yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. It's nothing like top to the way you want it. To where you want it. Where you're sitting. Point it to you. Just to spin the top. Well, hello everyone. Hello
So
everyone.
Shannon say if you're not 50 minutes early, you're late, Arma.
What TV show you watch, Shannon, that started 15 minutes early?
No, they are prepared 15 minutes early.
Yeah, I was early. I just didn't go live early, and I don't even know what time it is.
No, I haven't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how everybody doing? Hi, Jason. Looks like
it's just Jason's on right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we not starting at 8 o'clock. So we got
8 o'clock right now, no?
Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Let's see who else coming. Let's see who else is coming. Yeah.
This is what I always say in the Navy.
Huh? Shit.
Well, we could just wait a little bit before we see other people come.
Yeah,
on.
that's when you're trying to turn over or something like that.
Because I want to get into why I made that video.
Okay. It's 8 o'clock. Give some
Is
people
that...
a chance to come in. Instead of the regular, instead of
is the title today, should mental illness determine gun ownership? Yeah. And I did it for a reason based on a conversation I actually had with Arma, and especially what was been happening last week. I thought it would be a relevant topic to have or to discuss. So.
Because it's real easy to say, oh, these people are crazy or something's wrong with these people, and people like that shouldn't have access to firearms.
Well, the thing is, though, Arma, is
It's really easy
Like,
to
okay,
say.
I have my beliefs in terms of, yeah, maybe there should be some more restrictions in terms of access. I'm not never necessarily having access to this, right? But then you said to me that really what is mental illness and how you define it and who determines who's mentally ill. So I thought that's actually a good point. So with a little bit of research, that's how I created that video where it was really determined that that the even filling out like we just recently got two CZs and filling out the form for the background check, they just ask pretty vaguely if you ever had been diagnosed with a mental illness, and the questions actually changed. And then the realization is that 50% of Americans have actually been diagnosed with mental illness.
50% of Americans.
So that means that
50%.
automatically 50% of Americans
50% of the
are,
population doesn't qualify
wouldn't
to.
qualify to have a firearm. And then if it goes even further and deeper, where because the range is so blurred, well, its range is so wide, and the distinctions are so blurred that literally you could just have a bad day, be diagnosed with mental illness, and maybe you need to have a little therapy to figure yourself out, and that could actually exclude you from actually being able to own a gun, because it's almost categorized the same as someone who may really be seriously mentally ill.
Yep.
So the distinctions, and I'm no lawyer, so I don't claim to know all the law. It was just some preliminary research, and the realization that in some places could be where the restrictions could be 6 months, and then it becomes vague all the way up to 20 years or more. So it's like one little bit of thing in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my thing discovered that 1 in 5 Americans actually will have one in a given year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as Ramin just 85%. Let's put this. Let's show this. Yeah,
Ramsey
85
J.
percent.
85%
Yeah,
of all people experience mental illness crisis at some point in their lives. It's Ramsey J. Welcome on board,
yeah.
Ramsey
Hey,
J.
Ramsey. Yeah. So the fact is that if even when you're filling out, if you look at the questions have all recently changed. I heard someone said from January 31st. And the way it read is like, as long as you may have had some kind of diagnosis, you could very well be excluded from having a gun.
Yeah.
So that made me rethink. So okay, fine. And then the fact is, even through history, mental illness has been used as a way of discriminating against certain people. It has been used as an excuse, as a way of alienating or separating people in society from having certain privileges, right? So who determines really who's supposedly mentally ill, and just where at what point is the line drawn, that doesn't end up being really discriminatory, that doesn't end up being, like I said, a slippery slope.
The real question that people need to ask is what's defined as normal? You understand? And if we could answer that, we can determine what is mentally ill relatively
No, but
simple.
here's
Hold up. Let me finish my point here. Because when people say, oh, I'm normal, and then you get to the alphabet thing, he, she, it, her, the, is that normal? If
no,
that's considered normal, then what is
no.
mentally
Well,
ill?
here's the thing.
So you
What
have to consider a baseline of normality.
Armel,
You know what I'm
there's no,
saying?
there can never be any such thing as a baseline of normality, because that actually
So
changes. So that
everybody's mentally
actually
ill. Everybody's
changes. No,
crazy.
but actually,
Everybody's crazy.
but let me finish. There can't be a baseline for normality, because the world a lot evolves, and that's constantly changing of what's determined to be normal, and put it in quotations. And even so, it's still in some ways normal. As I said, is a white Protestant male, 30 to 45.
Protestant.
I mean, I Protestant male, 30 to 45. And I mean, even that isn't even realistic, because a lot of people themselves don't feel that they fit within the norm of what
Jason
normal
might be
is.
normal.
Normal, it draws my opinion to the
Jason might be
normal
normal.
category.
Jason, you normal?
But I mean, but that's my point. It's like, how many people feel okay? Maybe I fit in this category, but do I feel normal based on these very defined
You
parameters?
definitely not normal. I
Well,
know I'm not
I'm not a
normal.
white male.
I know I fell out of that category. I was born outside of the normality category. So I'm hit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but I'm also a black female,
so
so
I'm saying,
you know.
but the whole definition is what is normal and what is abnormal and what is mentally sane and what is not mentally sane, and that's an eye of the beholder. You
It
know,
is.
it's an eye of the
How is
beholder.
that definable? And really, how can you really? I mean, given the way man is, and tend the man, no, man tends to want to dominate.
Even Cassian, even you, right?
What you tell
But
me
you
I'm normal
said,
all the time.
yeah, even you. But when people throw these catchphrases out, all these mentally ill people or these crazy people shouldn't allow to have, it's catchy. It's like, yeah, stop these crazy people, do regulate these crazy people. And then I was like, nah, you can't do
But
that.
here's the
And
thing.
that's kind of
But
how the
here's the
conversation
interesting
started.
thing, though. Sometimes there've been instances where okay, so it's actually twofold, right? You have sometimes where there were signs that someone is obviously having a mental crisis,
A mental
and
crisis.
there was no intervention. Nothing was really
If the lights
done.
blinking, that's Zadie.
Nothing intervention. No, nothing was really done, and then all of a sudden this explodes into serious violence and mass shootings and stuff, right?
And look at these guys that's coming home from these conflicts overseas, or look at these guys. Shanna, you could probably relate to me. These guys riding on them shit for
Basically,
6
yeah,
months.
the normal one.
Yeah, yeah. Shanna could probably relate riding on them boats for months and months at a time, and all you see is the same damn people. Then when you get home, you see all of these different people. Is that like that would throw a little bit off balance? Or these people that have been in prison for really long periods of time, or even isolated. Some people out in the country and go out in the city, it'd probably be overwhelmed, like on some Crocodile Dundee type thing. Like when he goes to the city, like, this is a knife, that's not a knife, this is the knife. Is he nuts?
Well, I know when I
You
came
know?
to, I know when I came here and I saw these big ass roads. I'm like, these roads were big, and I was scared to cross there.
Yeah,
Like in
scared to cross the street.
Manhattan, in Manhattan, I was like scared to cross the street because it was just so big. Now when I go home, I look at some of my streets and I'm like, these are so narrow. I can't believe I was driving on them. So
Yeah, how you
it's all
drive on
about
those narrow
perception.
roads.
It's all about perception, though.
So
And
from this perception, the powers that be can deny people rights, and it's a strange thing just from a perception or a prescription. Or they put 10 people on the thing. Is this person crazy or is this person mentally ill? A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
no, but but one interesting thing is that as long as you've been diagnosed or potentially determined to be, then it's like it becomes a lifelong kind of sentence.
And then the
I don't.
diagnosis is so vague. Like say for instance, the diagnosis has a particular spectrum. Like say I'm thinking about like say a spectrum of autism. There's 8 million different ways somebody can be diagnosed with autism, and it's not just one.
It's literally it. No, but the thing is, autism is really individualized, where it really affects every child differently,
Or every adult, because there's adults with
or
it.
adult, or every person differently. So, I mean, how do you? They still have issues figuring out how do you really define what autism is, because
And that's pretty much with every mental illness.
it affects everybody differently. And are you seeing that
That's
they
every mental
handle it
illness.
differently? But I mean,
And then
it's really so
and then
wide, though.
yeah,
Like,
mental
it's
illness
really
is so wide that
wide.
we can't allow these politicians and bureaucrats to use these terms of mentally ill or crazy or not right. What you say? I'm not too right. What you
I'm
say?
not too right.
I'm not too right. I'm touch.
Not
We
too
can't
right.
allow these generic terms to be used to take away any of our rights. And I know from what I've seen, I've known people in my life who may have had lifelong struggle with lifelong mental illnesses since childhood, and struggled and struggled and struggled. And what would be called, these people weren't even violent. Like the person on a train station talking to themselves. They were. You ever seen the people on what they call the crazy people on the train do anything to anybody?
I mean, I know that when I see people talking to themselves, I didn't know that they were actually talking to somebody at the time when they had on cell phones.
Oh,
but that used to be a sign of insanity when you used to talk to yourself, you know.
But have you seen
But I
insane
used
people
to
do
talk to
anything to
myself
anybody?
all the time.
You still do.
But who else will answer me to my satisfaction?
Nobody, because I damn sure can't. if you looking for a direct answer and you're talking to yourself,
no, but
you might be
sometimes
nuts.
the answer is within, so you gotta talk to yourself and find the answer within. Man.
So you working shit out loud.
Damn right.
Oh, okay. Joe Va, what's up? What's up?
Yeah, Joe Va.
Yeah. So yeah, but who gives anybody authority to tell somebody that they're nuts?
Let's say when I was talking to myself, then someone could say, "Oh, she's crazy," and then that could have been like, "Oh well, let's put her somewhere because she's crazy because she's talking to us."
And I'm sure we could get 10 people to say that she's crazy.
Yeah. So.
And I'm sure, and there it goes.
It
boom.
could be used as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It could be used as a weapon, but then here's the thing, though, Armel. How can you truly, realistically, use it in a way that is not discriminatory? I mean,
you can't use it at all. What happens is it's not impossible. This is what has to happen. You have to treat everybody, regardless of their ailment, their disability, or anything, equally. Right? You have to treat everyone equally. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. When a person commits a crime with a firearm, a knife, a daggone chainsaw, a flashlight, if they commit a crime, those crimes need to be addressed after a jury found them guilty. And that's it. You can't predetermine the cause. This ain't Minority Report. You can't predetermine the cause before it happened. You can't cast somebody out as guilty or the likely of this person happen because of.
So what you're saying is that if someone
treat everybody equally.
Well, Joe accused said, "You talk to yourself." That's how you keep. Damn right. That's how I talk to myself as I'm in New York.
I yell at everybody else.
I talk. You have to talk to yourself.
I yell at everybody else. I don't need to talk to myself. I yell at everybody else. So
talk to yourself. Yeah, that's how you keep saying. What were we saying again? Sorry, I started joke laughing.
She laughs at her own jokes, mentally ill.
Because I'm funny.
Oh my God.
I don't need nobody to tell me I'm funny.
What Joe I say? Oh, okay.
I'm funny. I'm hilarious. So I don't need nobody to tell me I'm funny. I crack myself up.
Yeah.
Y'all have a conversation with me, myself.
Yeah, you ever see somebody walking down the street just laughing to themselves? Oh,
to get the conference, I was having a conversation with myself, but I was just smiling, and they'd look at me weird. They was walking by.
But for real, if anybody knows somebody who they know was diagnosed with mental illness, right? From my experience, I've known some people that were diagnosed, and they weren't very violent. They were very, very
but
reserved.
Isn't that really determined? Because I mean, there's so many different types of mental illness.
I think for real, racism and classism is a mental illness.
Huh?
Racism is a mental illness. It's damn near generation is taught. Different types of prejudice, I think, are a mental illness. How could you logically
that someone is different because of the color of their skin?
Yeah, that's a mental illness. You know, it has to be, and it has to be, might be hereditary, but I really think that could be classified as a mental illness because they daggone show that Buffalo shooter dude that he was mentally ill, and that was nothing but pure racism as we've seen for the past 400 years in this country. So if they use racism as a mentally illness or any type of prejudice or something that doesn't fall in the norm. So what you say, Ramsey J? You can't treat people equally based on race and wealth and class? I think you should, and that's part of the issue. I think you should. I think that's part of the problem. So if you even look at
based on, I think he's saying that it's a rhetorical question.
I think you should. I think that's the only way to resolve this thing.
I think he means that you should.
He's saying people generally don't. He's saying, but you know what? We all have.
But here's the thing, though. That's where implicit bias come about, though, right?
Implicit bias. She's using big words on me.
Implicit bias is the shit that you believe they don't realize you believe, but it impacts your decision and your reaction to people, places,
So
and
is
things.
implicit bias a mental illness?
That's how you're socialized, though. So if you
America's crazy is what you're saying.
Is it only America though?
Yeah, the world calling everybody crazy, and they the crazy ones. But for real, I think people should be treated equal. And if you take the time, and I put a lot of thought in this, if you look at the 2 Out for Life logo, it's a greater than and less than sign slashed out, because it's not greater than and it's not less than. That makes it equal, and I put a lot of thought because I really, truly, and honestly believe in social equality. I really, really believe it. And everybody, if everyone looks at everyone like, I'm not better than you, or you're this, or this person is better than you, or idolize other people for what they got. And I'm the flex king. I love the flex.
Yeah, but isn't flexing a way of showing?
Yeah, but that's pride. That's pride. That's pride.
Again, pride is a slippery slope thing where you.
That's particular pride. But you can have pride, right? You can have pride. You can have pride. You can be proud of yourself and your things without shitting on somebody else, or without degrading someone else.
I agree. Okay, degrading, yes, because you can celebrate yourself.
Because I may be in a good mental state and solid and sounded in this part of my life, but I'm gonna look at this person. Oh, she's stupid. She need to get her shit together, or he's a soup. This is what, on one of our male terms, the soup sandwich that can't get right. It can be that. And I'm looking at that person, but that's not considering that person's trials and tribulations that they may be going through. Instead of me doing that, I could do a helping hand, like, hey, brother, or hey, sister, what's going on with you, man? I think America has a mental illness of forgetting who we are and not having consideration for each other. And that's where and setting unrealistic expectations on other people that don't really apply to yourself. Yeah, that's that soup sandwich, man.
It's the American ideal that's really not idealistic.
And it's not a real deal.
It's the American ideal that is not real.
And I'm not saying that the American dream doesn't exist, because I'm living testament, we both are living testament that it does. But everybody's trial, tribulations, and struggles are very, very different. You see it, and we can't judge people based on what we see, because we don't see the back end, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and neither is it dead. Neither should we condemn people for their particular circumstances. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping off. Anybody want to jump in and help? Drop a link, Cass. I don't know how to do this.
Oh, everybody been saying grace since that show.
Everybody's just saying what?
Give someone a little grace.
What's grace?
That come from Love Is Blind show.
Or give us some compassion.
Give someone a little bit of grace.
Give somebody some compassion. You know what I mean? We forgot. We forget all the time about who the heck we are and what.
Says stop flashing the light, baby. Stop.
Yeah, anybody can jump in if they want. Be it feel welcome. Feel welcome to jump in. Yo, we got flashing lights moving through the street. She's doing a light DJ. She's being a light DJ. Anybody feel free to jump in.
She's doing a light
and
show.
Come on and join the conversation and contribute if you want, because it's good to see Ramsey J, Joe Vod, Shanna.
Yeah.
Jason.
We'll put so it's in the chat, so you could actually click on it if anybody would like to come in and contribute. So
yeah.
Just keep talking.
Yeah, I'll run my mouth all day and all night. But like I was saying, man, it's a shame that we can't live by the truly live by the problem that we're having in America is we are living a lie. We talking it, like Biggie said, we talking it, they ain't living it. You know what I mean? So we talk this freedom, justice, and equality, and liberty and justice for all. Yeah, we talk about liberty and justice for all, and freedom, justice, and equality, but we ain't living it because shit, we still fighting in a country where we're not equal. And I'm not saying that it's got to be some kind of social, unrealistic social utopia or something like that. What I'm talking about is everybody should have the same opportunities put forward to them.
That is a utopia society.
No, everybody should have the same opportunities put forward to them, and
But
then the only thing is one. You know, all the person need to do to have is the desire and the determination to get. You know, regardless of that. But there should be no difference between public education. If you want a little more, you pay for it. You see what I'm saying? If you want more, then everybody should have the right to public education, and public education should be equal across the board. It doesn't matter if you live here or there. At least a baseline standard, and
that's not real.
It's not reality. It's really not a reality of the situation, and because of that, we have we have developed some sort of elitist society that these people can have, but these people shouldn't have, or these people shall issue and will issue. You know what I mean?
Another thing, something I didn't quite
Shall issue the right. Shall issue a right, or will issue a right.
Taxes.
Huh?
We could get so much into the present system of that's unfair and shit.
Public education, the crazy shit about it, you believe that shit funneled through taxes, but the crazy thing about it is, doing real estate, you figure out, like, say a city like Chicago, right? You got 10,000 residents living in a 4-block area. In this 4-block area, most of these residents are not owners of the property. So the owners of the property have these properties registered. The owners are LLCs. The owners of the LLCs pay income taxes or on somewhere else where they live. So this person in Highland Park who owns 20 apartment buildings in South Side or West Side of Chicago, the taxes that's being collected is being collected for Highland Park, not the O Block. So the taxes is going to Highland Park School, not O Block School. And the other part of it, when the state sector sets in, that shit is being supplemented by the lotto tickets. The stupid go into when they hit the number. That's what the proceeds from the lotto go to. So a lot of the disenfranchised cities that we see are a result of tax things going wrong. If a person owns a property, they don't have to live over there. They can live in daggone California. He got to register this LLC who owns the property. LLC gets write-off depending on how the heck. And usually the taxes that's being collected for that particular property that's supposed to go into that school doesn't necessarily get there. This neighborhood here and a lot of suburban America, we are individuals. We own and live where we pay our taxes, and that goes to our school. Therefore, the schools here are some of the most well-funded in America. It's super funded. Yeah. The stuff that this school, my daughter's school has, and the events that they have, coding, and it's free. They teach coding. They pretty much do that all over the place.
It's not like fourth graders, I think.
Yeah.
Teach coding to fourth graders.
Yeah. So it's ridiculously. This school is ridiculously funded. This school system here is ridiculously funded. The police department here, ridiculously funded. There's zero crime, and these guys got the most technical dope shit you ever seen. Tanks, the armored vehicles, everything. For what? A domestic dispute or something? They're gonna run up in there like this SWAT team. The security at the school, impeccable. That shit that happened, and I don't even see nothing like that happening. I really don't even see it.
Yeah, security and stuff.
It's the security. You going through 3 doors with the ID 3 times, regardless of what door you're going through. You can't even get your kid from the damn school bus without getting scanned. They're not. It's ridiculously funded.
Mm-hmm.
Other side of it, me growing up, our school had police and metal detectors and all of this stuff, and people still got their goddamn brains blown out every other month. You know, and it wasn't. They didn't call it mass shootings then, and most of the time, it didn't even make the news. You know, I remember seeing, you know, a friend of mine, like I was in 11th grade, you know. I was just talking to him in the hallway, and I went into my shop class. I go into shop class, and next thing you know, boom, somebody killed him in the hallway. Some girl he was messing with shot him dead in the staircase.
The girl that shot him, or some dude?
The girl that shot the girl he used to mess with.
The girl shot him?
Yeah, some girl he used to mess with. He stopped messing with her.
And she killed him?
She killed him because the whole story was that he had got her pregnant, and he said it wasn't his, and she went ape and killed him in the staircase.
Damn.
But and I was literally just talking to him because I seen him in the hallway. I was supposed to be going to the bathroom. I don't know. I don't keep up with those people. I got the fuck out of there as fast as I could. Yo. That shit, they be talking about that gangster shit. It's like, as soon as I get was opportunity to leave, I was gone. That shit ain't that was, you know, that environment ain't nothing to be.
You need counseling on them.
Yeah. I had PTSD before I even went to boot camp. I'm telling you. I had PTSD before I went to boot camp. Before I left, I had PTSD before I went to, what 50 Cent said. He said he got a Purple Heart for war and never left the city. Yeah. But that's crazy, man. Anybody come in and help me out, Joe Vi? Ramsey don't never come in. But it's all good though, but that mental illness thing is a slippery slope. And I encourage you, you know, if it ever comes up for a vote or even before that, to discuss the subject with your peers, regardless of what size of the political spectrum is. There's no way to clarify it. The only way to seriously clarify it, Cassian, is allow someone, Joe Vi, you coming in? Get out of here. Let me let you in. Add.
Hey, what's up, man? How you guys doing?
What's up, buddy?
Not much.
Ain't nothing, man. Enjoying the day.
Yeah. So the whole deal, and again, this is just my opinion, doesn't mean anything. The whole deal with mental health, you have to look at it on perspective, because when you look at it empirically, everyone's on some type of mental health crisis or issue, you know, throughout their life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people it's more severe.
Yo, you on that Boost Mobile? Joe, you on that Boost Mobile?
He froze.
Yeah. You on that Boost Mobile?
He's freezing.
You're freezing. You're freezing.
You want to try your internet connection?
You want to try the internet connection?
Yeah. Maybe you should come in and come back, come out and
come out, come back and come in. Yo, he doing that.
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe he needs to go out and
come
back.
You good? Okay. What you had to do? Reset up? Yeah. Hello? I'm gonna redrop the link. Anybody else? You see, Joe Boss said the federal government and state lottery funds also, the boards of education also has a big say in what's taught in the schools and facilities. Oh, that leads to the bigger subject. Hold up, Jova. You good? Give me a thumbs up.
Let us finish this thought.
Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, no. So what I was saying was, like, when you think about it, everyone suffers at some point in their life some type of mental health issue. Like you said, whether it's PTSD that was undiagnosed because you had childhood trauma, or there's something you're dealing with. Some people deal with it in different ways, either through medication, talking about it. Some people compartmentalize it and they bury it and put it down. Some people have outbreaks that you can tell because people just stop taking care of their daily hygiene, which we as a society said, you gotta wash your butt, brush your teeth, change your clothes, and do all this, and now you're normal. But when someone doesn't do it, then it's automatically said they got a mental health issue. Some people live on the streets and everything else. Then sometimes you have highly functional people with mental health disorders. So like who, realistically, who gets to sit down and determine, it's like you're okay, you're not okay, you're okay. Yeah, we did some studies and everything else, and then a long time ago, people came together and said, well, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're normal. If you do A, B, and C, you're abnormal. But that's society, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, to add on to that, right? What are you going to do? And in your thing that I put up here, in your comment that you put up here, it says the Board of Education also has a big say in what's taught at the facilities in schools. This is the problem with that. And we lost touch with this probably in the late 80s, early 90s. People in society tend to went into a bubble and isolated themselves. People not so much involved in their children's education. They're not in the PTA meeting unless it's an open school night, a parents teachers conference. They're not there unless it's a sports event. They're not involved. If the people in the community are not involved in the things in the community, then all it is somebody else takes control. There's a void of community leadership.
Yeah, you're gonna lose control. It's just like
we lost it. We lost it.
Yeah, parents just don't regularly pop up and audit, what the schools are teaching and what they're doing until it's too late.
They're not.
By the time you hear about their teaching X, Y, and Z, it's already too late because that's part of the curriculum. You're going to
complain about it after the fact. And that's the same thing with
it's too late.
It's the same thing with mental illness and firearms, right? They say, oh, we're complaining about it because this person was crazy because he's deemed crazy. They complain about it after the fact instead of treating everybody equal no matter what. But hey, let me cross the line.
Yeah, let me recheck my connection. Hold on.
If you cross the line, this is what I'm saying. If you treat everybody equally, right? And everybody has the same guidelines. This is the law. If you cross it, if you go 56 into 55, you get hit. It don't care what kind of car you drive, what color, but what
guidelines specifically are you referring to? Though?
Any guidelines.
In regards to this,
the guidelines are already set in stone. If you kill somebody, you get X, Y, and Z. I don't care if you're going through a mental episode, a divorce, or a dad going, I love a dog and she don't want me no more. I love a dog. Shit. It doesn't. I love a dog.
People use it intensively all the time and get away.
I know. They don't really get away with insanity plea. What happens is they get charges reduced because of circumstances.
That's getting away shit. They're going to mental institution.
You know what I'm saying?
And then they're okay.
And then that's biased depending on some of the charges get changed and altered.
Well,
but
things, man. Money you can hire enough experts to say whatever it is you want them to say.
So if you got bread, you can do it. If you got bread, you can do any daggone thing. And that's another social inequality. Class and economic class.
But isn't that capitalism now?
Yeah, well, that
Terrible.
class, you know,
I mean, I didn't really
and that's
just
a
saw
whole.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
You know, so your classism is a whole thing, and that goes back to like Armel said, talent is equally
No, you can continue.
Go ahead.
I
I'm
think
just adjusting the lighting.
I think he froze again.
You froze again.
you know. So
You froze
now
again. You're
sometimes
saying classes what?
I said talent is equally distributed throughout the population, but opportunity isn't. So now you have to overcome that. So it's just like going back to what you said. You know, I was in Naperville, Naperville, Illinois, right, and was at a lacrosse tournament, right. You should see the money that they put into those schools up there, all based on tax bases and everything else. Now, just think if you could take and I hate to say it, if you could distribute or allocate, or you could find a way to make those facilities equal to the South Side of Chicago, to Detroit, to Brooklyn, to Newark, New Jersey, and everything else, it would be great. But one of the problems that we have is we don't know how, and I hate to say this, we don't know how to act because, you know, I see Armel in the hallways and everything else. He's going to school being a square, and I'm gonna start messing with him. I was like, "Yo, man, why are you trying to be something you can't be and everything else?"
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, so that's
Intermission.
into it because
Yeah.
you know you're trying to get right and do your thing, but I'm trying to pull you back down here with me. So that's something else that we got to
That's an American problem, Jova. And I hate to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
It's the only place where the bad guy is idolized.
Exactly.
How is the bad guy idolized?
Because I know,
you know,
school,
we're
smart kids
we're celebrating. We're celebrating. We're exalting the role.
Yo, please forgive the lighting. I got a light monster over here.
You're good, man.
She's a light monster. She's clicking the lights. She's messing with Come over here and being alive with us, is it?
Man,
oh my God.
She's gonna run up your light bill, turn them off and on, man.
You know it is. She used to walk on and turn off all the lights, and then we turned it to really nice fancy LED lights. So she liked the lights so much now that she turned on the lights all the time now. So she's now doing the opposite of what she was before.
When she was small, she turned off all the lights. She hated the lights. So now we got lights that change colors and have remote controls. It's the cute lights and stuff. So now she keeps every light in the whole house on. She'll wake up and turn the lights on.
Like she walks
just to the lights.
Yeah.
Hey. But yeah, but no, you know, like you said, Armel, like it seems like sometimes our priorities are backwards because you know we're idolizing and we're glorifying the people that's caught in and out of the legal system, the justice system. They're doing the same stuff, and we're not showing those examples of, say, you, man, you know, you're doing your thing, you and your wife are doing your thing with real estate and doing this and doing that. We're not showing those quote unquote squares. The only thing they know is the hustlers, you know, the dealers, the athletes, and the singers. They're not showing, you know, the dude that got a PhD, he's doing this with robotics, or the guy that worked for NASA, or the guy that's just out there doing his thing with a couple of businesses, or the guy that got the food truck, you know, and that's only cooking food and ain't moving product on the food truck.
And I'm gonna go ahead, Cassian, but say what you want to say.
I was just saying that regular people or people who are doing really well, that there's like you made a list of all the type of people that are glorified, right, or glamorized. But the fact is, they don't show the positive image of people who are living a certain type of life to the kids. They only showed, like you said, the athletes or the.
And I'm gonna say about like the athletes and the rappers and shit like that. Yeah. But let me tell you this, Joe, and you can probably relate to me, Jova. When I was growing up, right, I know I didn't have that many people around me who I could really say were educated or do-gooders. The people that I have educated and do-gooders were probably the ones that I seen that were college educated were the teachers, you know what I mean, that we see in our schools. and they always had the best, and they were highly respected. The teachers when I was growing up, they lived in a community, so they knew even if it was a big city, most of our teachers lived in the neighborhood, in the style. They lived in Bed-Stuy. The thing that I found out, and I was one of those guys who idolized the thugs in the hood, and because those were the guys that looked out for us. You see what I'm saying? Those guys that everyone else, that society would deem the criminal element, those were the guys that, yo, Armel, you want some sneakers here? And it wasn't asked. Nothing was asked. It's like, hey, you want to go do this? Nothing was ever asked. Everybody get ice cream or whatever, you know. So it just seemed like, oh yeah, that was cool, you know.
Yeah. So, and I guess I should preface because you did have some Robin Hoods, you know, back in the neighborhood, you know, because I remember times, man, you know, you didn't have, so so the Robin Hoods would come by and settle stuff, you know, make it. But again, you know, it doesn't end very well for us when we take that path, because the longevity of it, that lifestyle ends and you don't have anything. It's hard to pass down generational wealth with drug money. It's not impossible, but it's hard.
Let me tell you this, right? And I told this to my son.
I shouldn't say drug money.
It's not sustainable.
Money that was got illicit.
Ill-gotten.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's drug, if it's gotten in a negative way, in any negative
illicit,
it's going to come back. I'm a little bit of a Buddhist, so it's going to come back. Anything negative is going to come back to you. You know, anything negative is coming back. The thing about it is, and you're absolutely right, the ill-gotten thing. And I tell my son this: it's anything negative, it's not sustainable over a period of time.
Ill-gotten gains.
Ill-gotten gains are negative things or anything. It's not sustainable. It doesn't keep the momentum going because it's too much of it. If you want,
you always everything else. You always got to look over your back. You can't take it to a bank. You can't. It's hard now. It's hard to put it into the legitimate system. You know,
and you drive yourself crazy doing dumb shit like that. You really drive yourself crazy just trying to.
Yeah, you know, and
I'm sorry, the light monster's attacking.
No, it's fine.
I keep looking up at her. Is she going to hide now?
Oh, that's cute though, man. That's good. That's good stuff. But yeah, you know, so it's one of those things. It's like, you know, and I got it. I understand. You know, because I'm a product of that environment, somewhat, and everything else. But then, you know, fortunately, I was doing something else. I was showing an option, and I think I probably made the right choice. You know, so I understand. We have to give more options and more exposure to other things to let our kids and our children know that it ain't going to be easy. You know, it's probably going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, and you're probably going to get knocked down once or twice. But damn it, get back up
100 times. 100 times.
Yeah, you know, just get back into it.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yep, that is true. That is true.
You know, but and again, you know, I applaud you and Cassie. Cassie or Cassian? Cassian. I'm sorry for messing up your name, but I applaud you because, you know, you guys are out here and you're showing stuff, and you guys giving me some ideas and everything else to get off my lazy ass and to start doing that, because, like, I want to do stuff, right? But you can do whatever you want to do, but how are you going to do it? How are you going to pay for it? You know, I'm too old. I'm too old.
My gosh, I like I said, I actually just right now doing a multifamily conference right now, and it's just a wealth of knowledge when you're on people who are doing great things. It's just crazy, you know. And there are definitely a lot of ways in
It
me.
is, and that's one of the things we don't tap.
They have the right circles, so it
And
does
it is
matter.
the key to the whole thing, and it's the
Yeah.
key to success in this weird world that's turned upside down is get back to the basics of building a community. Yo,
Exactly. You go,
that's
man.
the basics. So the easiest thing you got to do for real, no matter whether it's going to be real estate or we're going to do YouTube or we're going to do anything, is to become a part of something bigger and then contribute to that. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Well, so I was kind of, I was, yeah, I was kind of get my G string back out, hitting that pole and hooking up on OnlyFans. So
Oh, that's like a business now, man.
Mm-hmm.
I may have to put arm.
I got that.
What is it?
You don't know
Funny.
OnlyFans?
I don't know what the heck this stuff is for real.
Oh my god!
Everybody knows I'm like the tech nobody. I
You
used
know
to be the
OnlyFans
tech
is?
dude, and then I fell off. What happened was, right? I used to be the tech dude. Like everybody called me for all a technical problems. Even Cass called me for technical problems. Everybody in the whole family. So that was about 15 years ago, right? Everybody out in the fleet, they called me, right? What happened was I came out and I started being around these dudes from the real tech world, and
You feel intimidated?
I got intimidated. I fell off, yo. Probably about 6 years ago.
Well, maybe you need to go Google OnlyFans.
Uh-huh.
Don't get too caught up and be
Hey,
spending them.
say, man, they live
Hmm?
Yeah.
What happened?
They live in zeros and ones, man.
Huh?
But yeah,
It was.
so again, I applaud you guys because just showing that there's an alternative way to make those dreams and to go out and to get it and everything else, because because I remember like growing up, you used to have like your family that lived in the South, and you see something else, like you go do vacations. Man, I didn't know too many people that had motorhomes, and RV trailers. And I'm looking at getting me a trailer, a travel trailer, with a toy hauler, ATVs and stuff like that. It's not stuff we did. You know what I mean?
Yo, and for real,
Now,
it's not even stuff that I could identify with, but now I want it.
Yeah.
It wasn't something. Go ahead.
Hey, Armel, but
you know what? We actually. Oh, sorry.
No.
Years ago, we actually said that we wanted to actually drive around the country and go to places to go eat. That was like something that I think even before Zadie was born, we said that we want to go on a food tour, because I like to eat. I like food. I like to try different types of food.
And I used to like to drive.
Yeah, so I was like, let's drive around the country and visit places and just food places. So it's something that we always said that we would do. And now we're seriously looking at, it would be fun to have an RV because they're so nice now.
And I used to work.
Like a mega house on wheels,
We used to work for renewable energy people, right? And I was traveling, and my area was like from Maine to Miami. And I would go like all up and down the East Coast and eat, because a lot of our clients were restaurants, restaurants and food places. So I would come back with taking pictures of all of these foods and stuff. But on the other side, with the mental illness thing, this is the crazy story, right? It was this guy, if you know Spinderella from Salt and Pepper, right? Donique used to say, "Oh, you're gonna have chips in your head." It was her brother. He used to say all of these stories, and everybody was like, "Yeah, he crazy," because he had an accident, which he ended up with a head injury. But he was really respected in the neighborhood before his accident and after. But after his accident, it was just kind of like he would just like say like the crazy conspiracy theories. So back in the 80s, nobody would listen to. They're gonna put chips in your head and they following you and all of this stuff. And Armageddon's coming. And then it was a church lady down the block that used to tell me about all of this stuff. And I was like, wow. One day I sit there and I thought about it. I was like, this cell phone track everywhere you go, get what you eat. Alexa's listen to you. And then when I started getting back into firearms, I'm sitting up here. I met Carbon Q. I'm up in Carbon Q's live, and Carbon Q prepping live, and Carbon bought this guy. He's a scientist or something, and he was talking about a nuclear fallout. Man, I was like, it's doomed no matter how. It's like there's no wins in the situation. And in that same night, I watched World War Z with Brad Pitt, and I was like, run,
Yeah.
run, run, run. Like, how the hell are you going to run? So I was like, all right, later for it. We got to get you got to get a truck. You got to get a trailer. You got to move light. You know what I mean? So it's not just started rethinking, because I know, for instance, I know if a shit hit the fan situation, I'm not going anywhere unless you burning the house down.
You always said that, but are you?
I'm not going
rethinking that
anywhere.
now?
I'm not going anywhere. But if I had to go, I
Yeah.
need to put the house on wheels
Well,
and move.
yeah, and I would say, you know, you got your primary plan, then you have a secondary
Yeah,
plan,
that's the
because
secondary.
sometimes just depending, you may not be able to stay where you're at.
Right.
You know, then you have how can I travel? How can I take the show on the road, and what am I taking with me?
As much as possible.
And that's where I think people
Yeah.
don't do good planning, as far as like, all right, what's my 60% solution? You know?
Mhm.
But again, you know, with the whole thing with the mental illness, like, 'cause we laugh, and you know, we had a crazy lady that lived on my grandmother's block. We thought she was crazy, right?
We
But she
call
was
her a
actually,
crazy lady, but
yeah, but she was actually smart, and she was right. She was right about all this stuff, man.
So
You know?
maybe she wasn't crazy. She was just
so who are we to
fantastic.
call her crazy?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe she was telling us
Saying.
the
You know, 20 years
She's
later, 30 years
clairvoyant.
right. Yeah. Maybe she was like a time traveler, trying to prepare us for this
I
stuff.
don't know about
She
the
was
time
right.
traveler thing, but
You know?
maybe she's seen stuff that add up to, and she's seen it before it
Yeah.
happened. A clairvoyant
Yeah, maybe
or something.
she had a higher consciousness. You know, it's just like, damn.
all the things that people used to say that were crazy 20 years ago is coming true. So that's the question though. They would have been diagnosed as crazy and denied their right to
Who
have
would
a
have ever
car and
said
whatever.
that?
But now, 20 years later, they
Who would have
weren't
thought
crazy.
that the encyclopedia, botanical encyclopedias that y'all was paying all that money for would be less than a thing on your phone?
Nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody would have even thought of that. But guess what? We so
It's
far
here, man.
We so
It's
far
here.
here. So I'm just like, build the whole key is to build a community, and that's the key to success. And I know I got these people around here that don't even say hi when I say it back, but I kill them with love. I'll kill them with love, though.
Do we get likes?
And yeah, everybody hit the like button, because you seen Zadie coming here. She's been avoiding us the whole time. Now she came over
here all day, so she was kind of mad at me, but now she showed me some love now. So.
Now you see she came over here. It's like, yeah, it's time for start hugging and stuff. It's time to go, y'all. but yeah, but this is the thing. Community, you know what I mean? And don't look down on people. And I love the flex, you know. I really do love the flex. And I don't like shitting on people unless they already haters. You know what I mean? And I just give them some more to hate. You know, but I like people to be proud regardless of how little they have. Be proud of what you got. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have some shame, don't do it. You feel me? Love, if you see somebody that needs some help, you know what I mean? Don't avoid them. Say, if you all right, speak to them, say hi. If they start talking crazy things, you know how to tune on. How your grandmother would say. How your grandmother said, you lie.
Actually, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. Crazy people
I lied.
do not deter me, actually, because I find them fascinating. And if like
or people who are
like there's
not
someone
societally
where
accepted.
there's someone who I came in contact with a few months ago, and from my first talk to her, I realized, okay, she's a little off, but she's incredibly smart. So I actually enjoyed talking to her, even though I knew she was a little off, because she was a wealth of information. But it just take a little bit of deciphering, you know, because her emails were like it was in code basically, but long run-on sentences that you kind of had to try and translate what it meant, and kind of like how she spoke as well. But she had a wealth of information that if you could decipher it, you realize that damn, I could learn a lot from her. So I've never.
You see the kisses? Y'all see the kisses?
I've never lived in New York. I've dealt with so many people. If someone is deemed to be crazy, I actually that never stopped me from having a conversation with them. I even try to just treat them as a regular person. It just means a little bit more patience when you're talking to them and just listen a little bit more to try to understand the viewpoint that
let me
they're
say,
coming from.
and Cass is crazy too. So we go to the RV thing last week, right? Crazy as fuck. So I'm looking at RVs online, right? And the RVs I'm looking for is totally different, but I have to get her to go because I'm the dependent in this relationship here. So I have to get her to go. So the thing I have to tell her to get her to go to see the trailers is, we already got the land. We could just park the daggone thing and you can make some money with it. But that's just to get her to go. I had to make her think it's some monetary thing involved. I have to make her think that it's a monetary thing involved. But the whole purpose is to get myself up because I wanna.
But he knows because
I want to off the grid RV. I don't need the fancy one. I just
I could park it and make some residual income right there.
But that has to justify the cost. I had to convince her to that's how I convinced her to go. So
because he knows I think in money terms. So
she thinks monetarily.
What's the rate of return? I don't because the fact is that it's gonna sit there for months or weeks, and you can make some money off it while it's in there.
Right.
I mean, you can pay for itself.
Hey, she's about the ROI.
Huh?
Yeah, the ROI.
Exactly. I'm like, how can I make it pay for itself? Exactly.
I was thinking about
the TPO ROI.
ROI, exactly. What's the ROI?
Hey,
how can I make
no? That's how that thing worked. That's how that thing worked. But the whole thing, I'm thinking of a backup situation for the situation. Like I like to consider myself, and I probably have the those tools. Like anybody know me, I'm crazy paranoid about economic situation. So what I call myself is recession proof. So I got all of these tools scattered all over the place. If anything ever was to happen, and I go stupid work for these people, everything. If I was to lose my job or lose my particular situation, what would I do to live? Because I have these firearms and these ammunition don't pay for itself, and she ain't gonna buy them for me.
Nope.
Those tools have to do something. They got to pay some. They got to do something. You know what I mean? The shit got to. So I got all these tools because when we started, we didn't have nothing. So we got to go rent this. Like, nah, if we're going to use it more than 3 times, we buying it. We everything for any given situation. So it's like, okay, if I lose everything, these things go into work. They're gotta
start earning.
They gotta earn. So it's the same thing. If I say, for instance, if I'm in a horrible situation and say I get hurt and can't earn, or something happened to us where our house burned down and insurance act front, and where am I going? I can't go. I'm not going to my mother. Brooklyn is out of the question.
That's why we're working on cash flow, Armel.
It's not particular cash flow. Like, where are we going to go? Your place might be occupied. I need a contingency for the contingency. Like, I need my mobile home or my RV to jump in until that shit gets sorted out. I need a contingency for the contingency. I need an A through Z.
That's why I'm coming up with more plan, Armel. That's what I'm working on. I'm working on a plan.
Yeah,
I got plans.
I got a plan in case every plan fell.
You got a plan.
I got a plan. Yo, and I'm that dude. I'm that dude. And if it ever get really, 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 really bad, these guns gonna start paying rent too.
You're a fool, man. But I feel you on that one.
Yeah, but it's really, it's really, and all that training and all of this stuff, that shit gotta pay rent too.
Yeah.
But it really got to get bad.
Things, man. And I wish 20, 30, 40 years ago, someone would have sat down, or I would have been paying attention. I would have learned about, stuff like return on investment, total cost of ownership, and all that other stuff. Because I went out, I was just like, oh man, hey, I'm making this amount of money. I'm gonna go buy a car.
You know,
I car note, but I couldn't afford the car. I could pay the car note, but I can't afford the car. And people don't understand that, because I didn't understand it.
yeah, it's like learning. It's like I wish someone had said before you buy a liability, you need to get an asset to pay for that liability, right? So
Asset, yeah, pay yourself
go
first.
to work and then you buy a house, you buy a car versus getting an asset that will pay for that liability of a car,
Yeah,
right?
And and that's the thing that I was talking about as far as and Armel said it, getting with the community and learning from some smart, intelligent people that's in it, and you can pick up some things. And they say if you hang around 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6 millionaire. That's not necessarily true. You won't necessarily be the 6 millionaire, but you'll learn some better habits to get better, with your finances and stuff
I
like
think
that.
it is true. You
That makes
leverage
an
the five to build yourself. And
yeah,
if you what I know with rich people, they like to make return on their money. So if they show you a way of how, if you could come and figure out how to solve a problem and they figure out how they could make money off of it, they'll bring you up too.
Nah,
Yeah.
I was around some people when I was young, and I would always talk to them about, and it's like, and the question that was asked is, why you talk, Armel, why you talking to me about this? Sometimes you're talking to the wrong goddamn people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was these brothers had, I surrounded myself with certain type of people, and they're really good dudes, but they were the wrong people to talk to. So
and everyone's not good for every situation also.
right.
So
They were the wrong. And Wayne actually told me, Wayne, he's like, what are you telling me? Wayno, what are you telling me this shit for? You know what I mean? You need to be talking to somebody else about that. Somebody who may be a little bit more interested in it. So that said, okay, I gotta diversify my personal network.
yeah.
So I had to start meeting people and doing, and that was a bigger challenge, and I think that's challenging for a lot of people. Just getting around people.
Well, we have to get out of that comfort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to get out of their comfort zone, maybe.
I mean, I could say I've always had jobs or done stuff that require me to be in front of people a lot. But you never guess that I'm incredibly shy in terms of I'm naturally an introvert, and it's even being around people sometimes is challenging for me. Like it's like I have to build up and be out there and be around people. And a lot of times, like for the past month, I haven't really, in the past year, I really haven't been around people really, right? It's I remember like you need to go work out and meet people or go to social stuff because I haven't felt like I wanted to go do that. So sometimes no matter how much you may be out there, you have to remind yourself that you do have to put yourself out there and network with people and build up that community to better yourself, So
yeah, each one teach one and you grow together, bro. I swear to God. Kids, I think a lot of things with far as see with Zadie, with social skills with Zadie is these sometimes she doesn't have peers or kids around her age who are willing,
or the parents tell them to,
who are willing to build with her. You know what I'm saying? The accents that we even have as kids growing up and our lingo, our words, we don't get that shit from our parents because our parents don't talk like that. We get it from our peers. So the people who we around are the people who influence us the most. You see what I'm saying? Even in the firearms community,
Yeah.
in the firearms community, I would never know anything other than the little bit of research I did on SiteMark until I meet cats like Do Knowledge. you know?
That's one of those things. So you need that social interaction to grow
right.
yourself,
Everybody does.
Yeah, then you have to take bits and pieces,
right,
or large chunks, and decipher for yourself. Are you going to?
That changes the direction of the things you research, or even your perspective. Just from
yeah, that could change.
Because even if you're looking at, like, say for instance, construction or building on YouTube, right? So you're looking at planning on we doing a remodel or HGTV. You watching that fake stuff, and they be doing this shit, and the budget is this, and this is this. When you really going to plan this project, and Jason, you could probably attest to that. This too, or you still in here? You going to plan this project? It's nothing like that. It's similar to that, but there's a lot of daggone missing steps. But you learn that just from that experience, and people, you can shortcut that experience by adding more people like this YouTuber and this YouTuber because what he might have missed. But if you sit there and ask questions and interact in the thing, you'll probably get the stuff that you're missing.
Well, shit.
Mhm.
I want to know, how can a stay-at-home mom with 6 kids and 3 dogs, and the guy only works 20 hours a week, got a fucking budget of $2.7 million for their second house?
That's easy. Motherfucker got game. They got game.
You're like, that's easy.
That's easy. He got game. I ain't saying it's not impossible. He got game, man. And maybe sometimes that game involves leverage and debt. You know what I mean? If the government raising the debt in 5 minutes, you know what I mean, it's looked at by some people. It's looked at by some people as a negative thing because a lot of times when you don't got enough or exit, it's a very difficult thing to manage little with nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you got something, you can manage a lot.
Yeah.
But you gotta get to that something.
Hey, you can always leverage what you got to get what you want.
Yeah, and, yeah, and then you can use that thing to leverage more things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yo, I ain't gonna front, man. They could lock that dude up, or he did what he did, but the dude basically wrote the blueprint on the game. Trump.
Yep. Yeah, it's
the blueprint on leveraging being broke, and everybody think you got it, and spending shit you don't got, and still being able.
Man, put it,
huh?
Hey, to put it in the language that we might understand, it's about getting in front of the package.
Yeah, it's presentation. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation, though. Whole different conversation.
I'll call you up and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, but that's literally the game. Right place, right time, right people. Leverage what you got. You know what I mean? Because you got to get in the room. You got to get.
Oh yeah.
You got to get in the room. Like if you got in the room with them people.
I got in a room with a couple. Yeah, and
you got in a room with them people and got in the room with that people.
I was in a room with a couple millionaires in there. So.
You get in the room. Yeah. You got to get in the room.
We're discussing $1 million deals and buying 200 units.
And by the way, I got this. You think you'll be interested?
Yeah,
sure.
Doing underwriting for like 200 unit buildings.
You got to get in the room. You got to get in the room.
You get in the.
You got once you get in the room.
Hey, get in the room and get.
And then it's all you. It's like, oh wow. If you don't have it, I don't have that. Or I didn't know that. Yeah. What do you think I should do? Respect other people's opinions, or because and share what you think. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Open book. You know.
I found that a lot of people who actually are doing well, they're actually willing to share their knowledge. You just simply have to ask and be around them. You know, they're just happy to share this information. So
yeah, people are happy to share because people like success is a flex. You know what I mean? And you need somebody that's like, yo, I just did this, and this. You think you can do the same thing? It's like shit's so easy. Yeah. You know, success is a flex. You know what I mean? But that shit comes with, it is what it is. But that's a whole different conversation. And mental illness is a real thing, but it's not something that we should judge people or say this person is retarded or this person is crazy.
Retarded is not
retarded. Or this person is crazy, or this person is slow, or this person is touch. This is a person, and you respect them to the same as you respect any other person.
The fact is
you know what I mean?
It's just not an easy thing to determine about how the whole idea is that how can you not really infringe on someone's constitutional rights to own a firearm by using mental illness as a factor, right? And it's just really, really difficult, especially when it's not clearly defined as to what it even means.
So, like,
or
say, for
how,
instance,
you
Zadie or
know,
something. Zadie's not doesn't have a mental illness. She's just like any other 7-year-old.
yeah, that's one thing I really that sometimes frustrate me is that even when it comes to her IEP, which is basically coming up with a plan to try to get her to what they consider to be a normal range, and sometimes she's every behavior that she exhibit is, oh, that's a sign of autism. I'm like, that's a sign of a 7-year-old, because they're like, oh, she doesn't listen. I'm like, which 7-year-old like to
None.
listen to? You know, and so I find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Like,
I'm
what
always
7-year-old?
arguing, right?
What 7-year-old gonna sit there and listen to this crap all day?
Yeah, like it's like sometimes
Adults don't
our
listen.
behaviors. They're trying to say, "Oh, it's autistic behavior." And I'm like, no, it's not. It's a regular child behavior.
You
You know?
sit there for 45 minutes. At some point, you want to go play. She's looking
Yes.
at the clock.
Yeah.
You want to get up. So I'm always fighting with them and battling them. And I said, not every behavior is autistic behavior. She's a normal 7-year-old.
She
in a
does
lot of ways.
everything.
She does everything. I mean,
Everything.
she just as
Yeah.
she has issues communicating what is it that she wants verbally. But if you spend around Zadie for 30 minutes, you have an idea, you know what she wants, because she's very
Well, so-
adamant about what she wants. She gets what she
So
wants, you know. So
yeah, so also think about this right here, right? So every kid that's in the system, and like in the education system, everything else, if they diagnose them with a learning disability or condition, that's more money for that school
yes,
and that school district.
literally,
So
I
there's
hear that
there's
to me.
been
They actually admitted that if we don't put certain things in there, they won't
That
get the
wasn't the
funding
school,
that they
though.
want.
That
No,
wasn't the
that
school.
was her
Yeah.
separate.
The school here,
So
That's her separate
Yeah.
therapy.
they blowing out of money.
They-
That was a clinic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they literally told me that, well, we kind of have to put some stuff in
That
there
was
to
a
get the
clinic.
funding. I don't
Yeah.
think we can't say specifically what
I'm
it
not
is right now.
saying what the name of the
But
clinic
yeah, but
was.
you they literally told me that, because I'm like, because literally when I was like, oh, they say they put aggressive. I'm like, Zadie is not aggressive. Her idea of aggressive is to give you a hard hug.
She'll give you a hug.
She give you a hug when she's mad, like, I'm mad.
Well,
She hugs you like
Yeah.
a really hard
And
hug when
stuff
she's
is-
mad.
and stuff like that is all subjective to who's saying it. You know, it's just like I wasn't aggressive. That was
No, exactly. But it's I asked other people who are around there now.
Yeah,
There's one thing
but-
they always say to me, Zadie at school is so popular. All the teachers love her,
Yeah,
who are not even in her
Because she's a
grade.
flexer, you know what I
She's
mean?
very loving and sweet. And I have the 3rd grade teacher go visit her, and she's in the 1st grade because she can't wait to get her in her class. She sometimes come there and say, I need some time.
Yeah,
time.
she does. So these got these young ladies, these kids that don't play with her, that just kind of look at her. So Zadie gets her basketball and she goes in front of their house where they're playing and starts dribbling the ball like, look at me. she flexed it. She said, y'all don't want to play, y'all don't want none of this. She won't bounce the ball. I played with it in front of the house, so she played with her own basketball. They ain't want to play. She don't want to. She don't even care. But they're gonna see her.
She goes down.
She goes down the block
in front of
their house and dribble her ball and like ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Win.
But
Like,
see, and that's the funniest thing, because it's like kids like that, they're always
yeah.
happy, you know, like
Yeah.
they're happy, man. And I was just like, wow, I'm jealous of you because you're happy, you
She's
know.
all-
It's just like,
exactly.
it's like, yeah, you know.
Don't let her get no new clothes. Oh my
I mean,
God.
no, not even clothes, like shoes. She's bought a new pair of shoes. She come over, take off her shoes, put it down right away, and
She has to walk through the library in the school every morning so everybody can see her outfits.
No, somebody said to me, guys, you gotta tell me Zay to pick her own clothes. I was like, why you say that? Because when she's well dressed, she walks up and down, and she literally models up and down, and she strolls and she struts and she turns and she twirls. So well, she knows when she's dressed well. She knows when she's dressed well. She literally does the model walk.
She does a model walk. She does a model
She does
walk.
it at therapy, and she does it in school.
Encourage that, man.
Huh?
let kids, and this is my thing, man. Let kids be kids, man. As long as they kids.
Yeah, but like I was saying, when we were just talking about
Yeah.
She's very popular, and everybody knows her, regardless of whether we're in a supermarket. Mostly
Yeah.
adults and bigger kids or whatever.
The people gravitate towards her
And
all the time. Say she's a beautiful child. She smiles at them and they melt.
and I'm not as active in the community.
They know her though. She's known.
I'm going to talk about as me as a parent.
Well,
I'm not as active in the community because it's a little bit of
well, you have your thoughts on that. But I mean, I take her around. I take her to the supermarket. So everybody knows her. Everybody know her.
yeah.
She's pretty well known.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and me as her mother, but
Yeah.
But yeah, so are we?
Yeah, we're done. We got to go to bed.
I gotta go put Zeta to bed. She's upstairs.
And we're like an hour and 20 minutes over. Thank you everyone for coming. Ramsey J.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Jason.
Because sometimes when I look afterwards, I see that the number of people who are there is more than the ones that are showing.
Yeah, and please invite everybody in, man. And I'm getting better.
Like, I'm spending time creating these thought-provoking videos. People, come on, support.
And it's about to be amped up as soon as we figure out how to work all the software. We got this 2 Hour for Life store. If you got a channel and you want some merch, we can do a collab. This stuff is kind of like paid for already. So you got merch. This 2 Hour for Life is a community lifestyle. It's not just about me and Cass. It's about everybody. Don't need to be sending Wix or the Squarespace $25, $50 when you can put your logos and stuff in here. You know what I mean? I'd make you a department of the store. You know what I mean? Everybody don't need to do that. So the more we pull together, the more we unify. You know what I mean? Like they said on the Mandalorians are stronger together. You know what I mean? But yeah, but with that, let's take care of each other. We're out. Good night, everyone.
Yeah. Guys, have a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna end this broadcast. All right. In broadcast.